The Lone Wanderer's Vision. I kind of agree with some of my critics that this is one of my weaker works. I don't think it's actively bad because I think the prose is good, but the plot is sort of just a generic triumph over the apocalypse plot, which I already did in Rebirth. Um, I still like it because I like the characterization of it, but I wish I could have added a little bit more depth and nuance to it. I think probably, and this is true when I write Fallout main entry ones a lot of the time, whether it be this one or Fallout 4 rewrite. There's so many characters that it's really hard to keep track of them all, and that's something that I've struggled with as I write these stories. It's one of the reasons that I have to cut so many people, not because I don't want to get to everyone, but just because, like, in a game the size of Fallout 4, I just cannot get to everybody straight up. So I just try to get to who I can. Kind of the same deal with this one. I got to all of my favorite characters, all the highlights, and then I had them all meet together at the end. Um, and I thought it was, like I said, I don't think it's the best, but I don't think it's actively bad either. Now, once again, I use Amada here, and I pretty much always make Amada the overseer because I don't know. There's just a warmth and goodness to her. She's a fun character. She's like not a fun character to write, but she's a relaxing character to write, I would say. As for the rest, I would say the plot is weak because the plot of Fallout 3 is rather weak. Now, the plots of my stories are not very strong in general. My stories tend to be incoherent acid trips more often than not, and people tend to read them more for the characterization and the writing than they do the plots, or at least that's my impression. Or a lot of times I think people just read them because they're quirky and weird. This one, though, is a pretty straightforward adaptation of Fallout 3, taken to the extreme of what if the Lone Wanderer fulfilled her father's vision. Something I probably need to do, and which I will do at some point, is an evil Lone Wanderer. Like, I can't even think of a title right now, but maybe the Lone Wanderer's Nightmare or something like that, you know? Because if this seemed a little bit too saccharine and a little bit too goody two shoes, oh, I can do the opposite. Believe you me.